Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this live stream. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to the Bitcoin bull run. Well, since few days, I would say few months, we were talking about this that we are bullish on Bitcoin, and it's just that certain LTF plans might not play out. And then I was very skeptical about whether BTC is going to reject that 59, that $59,000 levels, or we were skeptical about whether Bitcoin is going to literally close back under $49,000 as well. And hence, we just literally riding our spot bags that we bought from 39,000, and I'm glad that we bought it. Actually, people were waiting for 35,000, 33,000, and they were just like going to FOMO it here. In my view, 28th of Feb, we are in, the statistical data showed that there was supposed to be 20 to 25% dump that might happen. So far there is no dump that we have got, but I must say, that Bitcoin is now approaching one of the biggest levels, which is 0.886 Fibonacci levels of the highs, along with very close to the range highs. Basically, that is one of the big levels for Bitcoin. Let's try and evaluate what is next for Bitcoin. Even yesterday, we tried to scalp Bitcoin. We got into long based on the around 56,000 something levels, 56,640 or so. I'm still riding my scalp from there, and I do think that Bitcoin, if it goes this way, if it don't see any rejection at $63,000, I think tomorrow we get up in the morning, we see Bitcoin to new all-time highs. Basically, that's what we can literally see. So basically, guys, this is a time for is a very interesting moment. We need to cherish ourselves. For those who are riding the Bitcoin spot bags, for those who are not, you might feel FOMO that what we should do also are not performing well. We are scalping good with INJ. Even today we wanted to have XRP. I feel bad that we closed it too early actually, but XRP was a very clean long. I don't know why we closed it, but look at the way it pumped up now, 60 cents, guys. And yeah, basically it's like XRP was a perfect long in my view. This could have been a banger, honestly, but I don't know why I closed it in small profits. I think XRP is going to run up towards a 67 cents, and maybe it can even go to $1 as well, in my view. I don't know why I closed this long, because if you look at, from the half and time perspective on XRP, it's just breaking out of one of the biggest trend line that it had on XRP. And when XRP runs, you know how it runs actually. A single candle can do 50-60% move, and probably can just run very hard as well. I really feel bad that why did we close this XRP. Our risk was managed, everything was proper. We got a lot of chance to accumulate XRP at our perfect levels of 57.7 to 57.5. It's like amazing. I started this community in August 2023, but before that, for those who guys know me, they know that we literally bought Bitcoin at 16,800 bucks. And our target for a bull run, personally, my target is 450,000 bucks. And I'm holding my Bitcoin spots, and I'm just not gonna do anything with that. Every time, even if it went to 24,000, even if it went to 20,000 at that point of time, I've been very vocal about it. We are not, closing or selling a single Bitcoin that we have bought at 16,800 bucks. Not even a single Bitcoin that I have sold so far. And I think that is like, I'm just simply going to let it ride. It's a very good thing that Bitcoin is going to all-time highs, and I think alts are going to run when Bitcoin reaches more than $85,000 to $90,000. Now I'll show you some of the statistics that how alts performed in 2020 bull run and how we can expect this time as well. But remember, There are two possibilities over here from Bitcoin perspective and from alts perspective. The possibility is that, as SPX also made all-time highs, very, very sure it was that Bitcoin is also going to make this year all-time highs. It's just that we wanted the dip, where we can fill more and more bags and it can just pump it to new all-time highs. But here we are. Let's go deep dive into the Bitcoin analysis. And Bitcoin is already going to $63,000. Congratulations. It's just now, I would say $6,000 away from a new all-time high, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that $6,000, not much, $6,000. And trust me, I'm damn sure once it breaks the all-time highs, I think it's going to accelerate towards maybe $75,000 in just like, few candles, and maybe then probably we can reject like, what gold did. If you remember, few days back, even few months back, I mentioned that Bitcoin even do like gold sort of a thing. So if you look at gold on a weekly time frame over here, a similar sort of a thing Bitcoin is doing, in my view. Practically that's something is that it's just going to, non-stop make new all-time highs over here, just keep on pumping, make new all-time highs, and then we reject and come back down to equilibrium, go back under equilibrium, and then start making another new all-time highs. Basically, we don't give any dip. We just keep on running, and then we make new all-time highs, trap everyone, and then we start getting a big move on the downside, which literally takes Bitcoin to weekly EMA 200, and then we start running back up. So weekly EMA 200 would be somewhere around here, not this red one, but somewhere would be slightly above this levels, from maybe somewhere around 1830 or so at that point of time. So that's what Bitcoin can do on a hot time frame. That is a very clarity in my view. Do not try to short it, guys. You really don't want to be a hero shorting anything. These are not even if you feel that it's a big levels for Bitcoin, I do think that these are not the you should not shorting it. That's all. Even if you feel that it's going to reject, this is like a 76 levels of wick. We have the levels that I have marked, 64,123. That was the levels I had, when we went to $30,000 at that point of time in 2022, when I mentioned once Bitcoin starts reversing, it's going to do like, a V-shaped recovery. Everybody would want to have the dip or a retest. It don't give anything. It just keeps on pumping. It's just going to melt faces. Everybody's going to wait for a retracement. There is no retracement. It just keeps on pumping, melt faces. That's what it is doing right now. The question is whether this is like a big bull run rally or this is ABC. At this point, we don't know. But what I know so far is that Bitcoin is definitely going to take the 69,200 highs in the next, probably very, very soon, probably in next few days, maybe next few hours. The way it is doing, it feels to me like that we are going to do that very, very soon. The diagonal scenario out of the game. There is no diagonal. Simply pumping back up. Now that we have the whole picture in our a very clear picture that we have, this is wave, some sort of a wave 1, this is wave 2 over here, another wave 1, 2. So basically this now seems to me more like a 1-2-1-2 scenario, and right now we are in a very big wave 3 at this point. So basically, everybody might expect that Bitcoin would be rejecting from 100k or 120k buys, but there's a very high likelihood chance that we might simply run back turbo to more than 200,000. Why? The reason is Bybit. Basically, the Bybit shares doesn't look any bearish to me. I mean, it's so bullish, breaking even above 161. Basically, it's just not, this is always like another account, but my primary count that we have on Bybit is here. It's just that it's just going to keep on pumping to 37 and maybe even 40 cents. So this is going to be like, a very clean 5 waves over here, wave 3, we are literally going to, this $37, and then we're going to go for any sort of a sideways correction, a little bit accumulation for a bigger wave 4, and then further run up, towards $40. Well, that's what IBIT is going to do, guys. So I think IBIT is very bullish. It's literally in this, this whole pattern that, as you can see here. So basically, Bitcoin is going to be bought by BlackRock very oftenly because IBIT is very bullish. That shares people are going to buy. There will be just huge inflows, and it's like a mini bull run. It's like a big wave 1 in my view for IBIT. So what is going to happen next would be there will be a lot of outflows on IBIT after this move on the downside, and we're going to go back down on IBIT. And my target on IBIT then, after doing this kind of a move, would be somewhere around $25 and maybe even to, $20 as well. But overall, I think IBIT for now is very, very bullish. I would not short even IBIT. I would not have any put option, call option on IBIT as well. Don't short anything. I'm just simply, if you remember when we were here, I mentioned IBIT is going to pump. We are bullish, and it just break out and pumped as well. So that's what. Bitcoin is definitely very, oh my god, it just break out 63,311. We are literally going to the new all-time highs, it seems, ladies and gentlemen. I think over the live stream probably we'll just look at the all-time highs for Bitcoin. Overall, just evaluate the weekly time frame. If you just look at here on the weekly time frame, I think if you just simply draw a range kind of a structure on Bitcoin, let's draw the range as well. Now this is the last levels that you really want Bitcoin to dump from, which is 0.86, and that 0.86 is here. We are just going above, guys. This is not 5 waves, and this is going to be like, we are literally pumping to 64,000, which is like a range highs. That's your range highs over here, a previous range highs of a bull run that we had. That's where we rejected and got a big dump. From there we got a big dump, as you can see. So basically, at this point, I think we are literally going towards the range highs for Bitcoin. Now, if you look at drop down over here, I really don't know what these wave counts are on the lower term time frame, because this is very bullish. I really don't see this is a 5 wave structure. It's a very, very bullish structure actually, and it makes me think that we are just big. The bull run is just starting actually. And it's like we are not going to stop. It's just going to keep on pumping. And our spot bags are pumping as well. I think Bitcoin is going to do something like this. The new all-time highs is coming. And we're just going to smash it up. And then maybe, I would like to see a big, some sort of a rejection from there. After making new all-time highs. A sell-off might happen, of course. Every time we make new all-time highs, a small sell-off literally happens. I'm not sure how big the sell-off would be, but in case, if Bitcoin literally makes new all-time highs from here, these are the levels, only levels that we have for any rejection. If it really wants to reject, this is where Bitcoin will have to reject. But the momentum is bullish. Practically, as I mentioned, RSI is bullish. Everything looks really, really good. There is no reason to believe. Don't just look for any shorting opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that Bitcoin is going to make new all-time highs. Hold on. So as you can see, when the divergence got invalidated over here, what you really want to look for is, okay, we really want to see any sort of a over here there can be a very interesting resistance on Bitcoin. So basically we still have to pump it back up. This is just going to go up, and I do think right now at this point we are going to new all-time highs, ladies and gentlemen. Probably tomorrow we get up in the morning and Bitcoin will be at the new all-time highs. That's what we can say. Remember our TRB, what TRB did? It did something like this. It just, was like here and just made a big pump up and it just retraced the whole move and then went down. I think now 40,000 is literally impossible for Bitcoin to test it. That 38,000 is so literally impossible for Bitcoin at this point. It's clearly going to target the new all-time highs. Overall, I think hard-term time frame, what I feel is there are two possibilities over here. First, this is A, B, and we are still doing a bigger wave C over here, and that would going to lead to some sort of a a deviation of the highs and then probably coming back down, or it's just simply going to be a bull wave, bull run, and this is wave 1, 2 over here. This is like a bigger wave 3, which is going to end somewhere around maybe the somewhere around 210 to 250,000 dollars, and wave 5 is going to pump it back to 450,000 dollars. So it's just not going to stop. Basically, if it just is like everybody's going to expect that probably Bitcoin is simply going to reject, come back down. All the bears are going to say that, but in my view, this is a very, very bullish case for Bitcoin, guys. Very, very bullish case. And yes, in case if February is true that we're going to get our dip, and yes, if we do reject over here, which the signs are very, very low at this point of rejecting, but let's say in case if we reject, and if Bitcoin literally gives us any signs of a pullback, these are the levels. 64,400 is the levels where it should reject lastly, and then probably we should get a dump. We just want it to take liquidity under $50,000 now, a retest of 49 to 40, $7,000, and then run it back up. But this whole 20% move that we are watching over here, it's very hard to say whether we're going to get it, guys. But in case if we do happen to get it, you should be having that limit orders set, because the flush is going to be very quick. And after that flush, I think Bitcoin is simply going to run back turbo actually. In case, I'm not sure if we ever going to get that. If you look at the lower term time frame, if you just look at the lower term time frame, ladies and gentlemen, now Bitcoin has invalidated all the 5 waves theory as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is invalidated because of the volume. Over here, we have got huge volume coming up. Normally, wave 5 never have that huge volume. Wave 5 goes with the low volume, which means that this move here is wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was your wave 5 over here, a small 4, and then 5. So basically, it means that everybody who thinks that this is 5 waves is wrong, in my view. This is not a 5 waves. This is a bigger, impulsive 1, 2, 1, 2 move. A very impulsive move, actually. So, whether you should FOMO here, I think you should not. If you don't have any levels, if you haven't long yesterday, you should not. Our indicator gave a lot of chance for you guys to long it. Even yesterday I mentioned it, how our indicator gives us the signals. Over here we longed, literally nailed the bottom over here for more than 12-hour setup. You see buy, and over the Doritos that we gave here, and look at the pump. Even yesterday over here, the thing is we just pumped up. So basically, I think at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we need to be very, very careful in case of any sharp rejection or a dump. Probably this is the levels where it should reject, in my view, if it has to reject. Anything above this is like FOMO. You can make big money with just like ultra scalp, and you will be seeing Bitcoin literally, from here, anything above 64,000. We'll be seeing a 5% quick, 7% quick move on Bitcoin to $70,000. And it's going to be very, very quick. Very, very quick, actually. So for Bitcoin, guys, I think personally, on lower term time frame, I really don't have anything to give you at this point, whether should we long. But if you just look at what Bitcoin did when we were breaking out in 2020, when we were making new all-time highs, So we can just study those things, and maybe that can literally help us to know what Bitcoin might do this time as well from the price action perspective. So if you just look at here on Bitcoin, on let's go back. I'm just simply going to go here to 2020. Sorry, 2020. Yeah. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen, in 2020. So previously, when we were here, we got in Feb, we got the dip. I do remember Bitcoin rejected first before going to or breaking the new all-time highs and made a very interesting irregular expanded flat. And after that, it just made new all-time highs. So over here, we went very close to, literally, as you can see here, what exactly Bitcoin is doing at this point, ladies and gentlemen, very, very close to what Bitcoin is doing. As you can see, we we got a flash. This is like a very interesting pattern, a vertical accumulation, keep on pumping, a flash, and then it just keeps on pumping, and then reaching to the new all-time highs. Very close to that, we got this dump, retested this red line, and then made highs and accumulated, and then we went making new all-time highs. But then once it breaks out, there is no coming back. As you can see, the price was going nuts. It just was like pumping very, very high, and very quickly it was doing. So if we just have to go to the current time frame, and if in case if something like this happens again with the Bitcoin, honestly going to the previous all-time highs, I think because this time is very different, guys. We never saw the retest of 0.14 fib as well, so very, very different this time is. But in case if the price action repeats itself, we might be doing something like this, a flush, reclaim it, chop 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 chop, it goes very close to the all-time highs, very, very close, and then we get a massive dump probably on the 4 hours time frame. Now our red line is here, but I would not expecting that massive dump. Maybe like a $53,000 retest, which is acting as a support, like here, maybe just a sweep of flows. We will see at that point of time, reclaim it, and then probably making it new all-time highs, not all-time highs, but sweeping it and accumulating more here, breaking it, and then we go for ramp it up to more than $100,000 for Bitcoin. Because remember, when Bitcoin broke $20,000, the highs, the max it went to, it did like almost 3x from $20,000, 60,000, 60. Ideally, it was 64,000 first, but I'm just saying rounded off like 3x. So if from here 3x literally gives you roughly around 200,000 or maybe $210,000. So ladies and gentlemen, I think these are not the levels for you to FOMO, but if really Bitcoin follows this plan, I think we just can go all in on Bitcoin around 53,000, probably, maybe even the best would be around 49,200 if a wick is given over there.